15 Things You Need to Know to Live a Happy Life, created and shared by Audiobook Spot. Introduction. Happiness often feels like something that happens to us, but what if it's something we can actively create? The truth is, happiness isn't just about the big moments or external circumstances. It's about the small choices we make every day and how we approach the challenges life throws at us. It's about taking control, understanding ourselves, and learning how to build a life that feels fulfilling and meaningful. In this book, we'll explore 15 essential things that you need to know to live a happy life. These aren't just abstract concepts or quick fixes. They're practical insights and habits that can be applied to your everyday life, helping you move toward a life of greater satisfaction and peace of mind. From understanding yourself better, to mastering your mindset, to learning how to build relationships that nurture you, these steps can guide you on a journey to lasting happiness. But it's not just about reading these ideas and thinking they sound good, it's about taking action. Each chapter will offer real, actionable advice that you can start using right away. The goal is not perfection, but progress. We'll talk about things like how gratitude can change your perspective, how to stop letting stress control your life, and how to create habits that will set you up for long-term success. By the time you reach the end of this book, you'll have a clearer understanding of what it takes to live a truly happy life. It's not about waiting for happiness to come to you. It's about creating it every day with your choices. And the best part, you don't need to do everything all at once. With small, consistent steps, you can start to build a life that feels more joyful, more fulfilling, and more aligned with who you really are. So, whether you're looking to make a big change or just want to improve a few areas of your life, this book will give you the tools to do just that. It's time to take charge of your happiness and start building a life that you love. Chapter 1. Know Yourself, the first step to happiness. To truly begin living a happy life, it's important to start by understanding who you are. This might sound simple, but in a world that constantly pushes us to compare ourselves to others, to fit into specific molds, or to seek external validation, it's easy to forget that happiness isn't something we can find outside of ourselves. It's something that begins within. To build a life filled with joy and contentment, you first need to know who you are, what you truly value, and what makes you feel alive. So, how do you really get to know yourself? It's a process, and it can take time. The more you understand about yourself, the better equipped you'll be to make decisions that align with your true desires and needs. You'll stop questioning your choices and second-guessing yourself, and instead start living with purpose and confidence. The truth is, understanding who you are gives you the power to take control of your life, set boundaries, and pursue what truly matters to you. It's easy to lose sight of what makes you unique. Life can get busy, and it's tempting to follow the crowd, meet the expectations of others, or chase after external achievements. But none of that leads to lasting happiness. The only way to find genuine joy is to stop looking for it outside of yourself and begin looking inward. Understanding yourself means knowing what makes you happy, what brings you peace, and what kind of life you want to create. Without this knowledge, it's like driving a car without a map. You're not sure where you're going or how to get there. It's important to realize that this journey of self-discovery is ongoing. The more you learn about yourself, the more you'll be able to make decisions that bring you closer to your happiness. Sometimes it's about getting comfortable with the fact that you don't have all the answers. Other times it's about accepting the things you might have tried to avoid or deny for too long. The process isn't always easy, but it's worth it. It's all about being honest with yourself and facing your true feelings. One of the first steps in getting to know yourself is to spend time alone. In our busy, connected world, it's easy to always have something or someone else to focus on. We can spend hours on social media, talking to others, or working. And in the process, we forget to pause and check in with ourselves. Spending time alone isn't just about being physically by yourself, it's about making space to think, reflect, and listen to your inner voice. It's about finding moments where you can breathe without distraction. When you take the time to sit quietly, you give yourself the chance to reconnect with your thoughts and emotions. You might be surprised at what you learn. A huge part of knowing yourself is being willing to ask yourself deep questions. You might wonder, what do I really want out of life? Or, what am I afraid of? These kinds of questions are uncomfortable, but they lead to real insight. Take time to reflect on your desires, fears, and goals. Think about what truly matters to you, not what you think should matter, but what actually makes you feel fulfilled and happy. It's okay to not have all the answers right away. The process of asking yourself these tough questions will lead you down a path of discovery, and with each answer, you'll get closer to understanding your authentic self. Reflecting on past experiences is another powerful tool in understanding who you are. Looking back on the times in your life when you felt most alive, proud, or fulfilled can give you important clues about what makes you tick. What were you doing at those moments? Were you creating something? Helping others? Exploring new ideas? These moments highlight your true passions and strengths. On the flip side, think about the times when you felt frustrated, lost, or drained. These moments also offer valuable lessons. They help you identify what doesn't align with your core self and what you need to change or let go of. Both the highs and the lows reveal important pieces of the puzzle that is you. Knowing yourself also means understanding your strengths and weaknesses. Nobody is perfect, and everyone has areas where they can improve. But knowing your strengths allows you to embrace them and use them to your advantage. Whether you're great at listening, solving problems, or leading a team, recognizing these abilities helps you build confidence. At the same time, acknowledging your weaknesses helps you make better decisions. If you struggle with organization, for example, you might need to develop strategies to keep track of tasks. But don't let weaknesses define you. They're simply areas for growth, not limitations. Sometimes, getting to know yourself requires seeking feedback from others. The people closest to you can offer insights you might not have considered. They might point out qualities or talents you don't recognize in yourself, or they might help you see where you're holding yourself back. Feedback can be tough to hear at times, but it's a valuable part of the self-discovery process. When you open yourself up to others' perspectives, you gain a clearer picture of who you are and how you show up in the world. It's important to be open to hearing what others think without taking it personally. Their feedback is meant to help you grow, not to judge or criticize. Another powerful tool in getting to know yourself is paying attention to your emotions. Emotions often reveal things about us that we're not fully aware of. When you feel anger, sadness, or joy, take a moment to ask yourself why. What triggered that feeling? What does it tell you about your values, needs, or desires? Your emotions are like signals that can guide you to a deeper understanding of yourself. If you're feeling frustrated, for example, it might indicate that you're not being true to your values or that something important is being ignored. When you learn to listen to your emotions, you gain valuable insights into your inner world. Living according to your values is one of the most powerful ways to stay aligned with your true self. When you know what you stand for, you can make decisions that honor those values. For example, if honesty is one of your core values, you'll find that you're happiest when you're able to speak your truth and act with integrity. On the other hand, if you're constantly putting your needs second to please others, you'll feel drained and unfulfilled. Knowing your values helps you filter out distractions and focus on what truly matters. It's about making choices that are in line with your beliefs, not what others expect from you. As you move forward in this journey of self-awareness, keep in mind that it's okay to change and evolve. Knowing yourself doesn't mean you're locked into one version of yourself forever. Life is about growth, And as you learn more about who you are, you might discover new interests, values, or goals. Be open to this evolution, and don't be afraid to let go of old beliefs that no longer serve you. Self-discovery isn't about perfection, it's about progress. When you take the time to understand yourself, you're giving yourself the gift of clarity. You'll be able to make decisions that align with your true desires, leading to a more fulfilling and authentic life. Understanding yourself also means that you'll stop comparing yourself to others. You'll stop trying to meet someone else's standards and start living according to your own. With this clarity, you'll be able to move through life with confidence, knowing that you're on the right path for you. And as you continue this journey, you'll realize that true happiness doesn't come from external achievements or validation. It comes from within, from living authentically and embracing the person you are. The more you understand yourself, the more you realize that happiness is something you create. It's not a destination or something that happens to you, it's a way of living. By getting to know yourself, you're setting the foundation for a life filled with purpose, joy, and peace. And once you start to truly know who you are, you'll find that happiness isn't something you have to chase after. It's already inside you. All you have to do is embrace it. Chapter 2. The power of a positive mindset. Having a positive mindset is a powerful tool that can transform your life in ways you may not have imagined. It's not just about seeing the glass half full, as the saying goes. It's about shifting your entire approach to life so that you look at challenges and setbacks as opportunities to grow. A positive mindset doesn't mean ignoring the difficulties or pretending that everything is perfect. Instead, it means facing life's ups and downs with a hopeful outlook, understanding that even in difficult situations, there's something to learn or something good to find. One of the first things to realize is that your thoughts have a profound impact on how you experience life. What you think shapes your reality. If you're constantly thinking that things will never improve, that you're not good enough, or that nothing ever goes your way, you'll start to believe those thoughts. They become your truth. The way you perceive the world influences the way you act, which in turn creates the life you experience. When you shift your mindset to be more positive, you begin to see possibilities instead of obstacles. You start to approach challenges with the belief that you can overcome them, rather than feeling defeated before you even begin. A positive mindset helps you to bounce back quicker when life throws curveballs, because you're not bogged down by negativity. Instead, you recognize that setbacks are a natural part of the journey and you have the strength to push through them. It's not about ignoring the tough parts of life, but acknowledging them and choosing to see the bigger picture. Think about a time when you faced a challenge that seemed insurmountable. Maybe it was a difficult project at work, a tough conversation you needed to have, or a personal setback that left you feeling stuck. If you were stuck in a negative mindset, you might have focused only on the problem, overwhelmed by the obstacles. But when you adopt a positive mindset, you focus more on the solutions, the lessons, and the growth that can come from the experience. A positive mindset isn't just about thinking happy thoughts, it's about training your mind to look for the good in every situation. It's about choosing gratitude even when things aren't going your way. For example, when things don't go as planned, instead of saying, "Why does this always happen to me?" you could say, "What can I learn from this?" Or, "How can I use this situation to grow?" This shift in perspective can completely change how you feel about the situation and how you react to it. When you choose to see life in this way, you stop feeling like a victim of circumstance and start taking charge of your experience. Developing a positive mindset also involves letting go of negativity, not just in your thoughts, but also in your environment. Negative influences, whether they're toxic people, constant news updates, or unhealthy habits, can drain your energy and pull you into a negative mindset. It's important to surround yourself with positivity people who uplift you, activities that make you feel good, and environments that inspire you. The energy around you matters, and the more you focus on positive influences, the easier it becomes to maintain a positive mindset. It's also important to remember that a positive mindset doesn't mean you ignore your emotions. Life is full of highs and lows, and it's natural to feel sadness, frustration, or disappointment from time to time. Having a positive mindset isn't about pushing those emotions away, but allowing yourself to experience them without letting them control you. It's about acknowledging how you feel, processing those emotions, and then moving forward with the understanding that you have the ability to change your thoughts and outlook. One powerful way to maintain a positive mindset is to practice gratitude. It's one of the simplest yet most effective ways to shift your focus away from what's wrong in your life to what's right. Gratitude helps to put things into perspective. It's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day struggles, but when you take a moment to reflect on the things you're grateful for, you remind yourself that there is so much good in your life. It could be as simple as appreciating a good meal, spending time with loved ones, or having a roof over your head. When you make gratitude a habit, you start to see the positive aspects of your life more clearly. Along with gratitude, another way to foster a positive mindset is to practice positive self-talk. The way you speak to yourself has a huge impact on your mindset. If you constantly tell yourself that you're not good enough or that you'll never be successful, those negative affirmations will shape your self-image and limit your potential. But when you start speaking to yourself with kindness and encouragement, you build up your confidence and self-worth. Instead of saying, "I can't do this," try telling yourself, "I am capable of handling this," or "I have the skills I need to succeed." Over time, positive self-talk becomes second nature, and it helps you maintain a mindset that empowers you rather than holds you back. It's also important to understand that positivity isn't about suppressing negative thoughts or emotions. It's about choosing to focus on the positive aspects of a situation. It's about finding the silver lining, even on the toughest days. This isn't always easy, and it's okay to have moments where you don't feel so positive. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. Each time you catch yourself thinking negatively, challenge those thoughts and replace them with more constructive ones. This small shift can make a huge difference over time. When you commit to adopting a positive mindset, you'll start to notice a shift in your overall outlook on life. You'll feel more motivated, more resilient, and more capable of handling whatever comes your way. You'll start to attract more positive experiences and people into your life because your energy will be aligned with the things you want to bring into your world. And as you continue practicing positivity, it becomes easier to stay positive, even when life presents challenges. Developing a positive mindset also allows you to be more compassionate with others. When you see the good in your own life, it's easier to extend that same kindness and understanding to those around you. You'll find yourself encouraging others, lifting them up, and offering support when they need it most. A positive mindset creates a ripple effect, spreading positivity to everyone you encounter. One of the biggest benefits of maintaining a positive mindset is that it boosts your overall well-being. People with a positive outlook tend to experience lower levels of stress, better physical health, and higher levels of happiness. Studies have shown that people who focus on the positive aspects of life are more likely to take care of themselves, make healthier choices, and bounce back from adversity more quickly. By cultivating a positive mindset, you're not only improving your mental health, but also your physical health and overall quality of life. A positive mindset isn't something that happens overnight. It takes time, practice, and patience. But with each small step you take, you'll begin to notice the positive changes it brings. It's about shifting your focus from what's wrong to what's right. It's about replacing negative thoughts with empowering ones and choosing to see the good, even when things aren't perfect. As you commit to adopting a positive mindset, you'll discover that your life starts to shift in ways that bring you more joy, peace, and fulfillment. The power of a positive mindset isn't just in the way it makes you feel, it's in the way it transforms your entire experience of life. When you choose to embrace positivity, you open the door to endless possibilities. You become more resilient, more capable, and more fulfilled. And ultimately, a positive mindset helps you create a life that is rich with purpose, happiness, and growth. Chapter 3. Gratitude, the key to a happy life. Gratitude is one of the most powerful tools you can use to live a happier life. It's easy to get caught up in what we don't have or what we wish was different. The world constantly tells us that happiness comes from more success, more possessions, more recognition. But the truth is, happiness often comes from appreciating the things we already have. Gratitude is the simple act of acknowledging and appreciating the good things in our lives, no matter how big or small. And when you make gratitude a part of your daily life, it can transform the way you experience the world around you. At first, practicing gratitude might seem like just a nice idea, a feel-good habit that everyone talks about. But once you start to really embrace it, you'll see just how deeply it impacts your happiness. When you focus on what's going right in your life rather than what's going wrong, you begin to see the world through a different lens. Instead of feeling like you're constantly lacking, you start to recognize the abundance around you. It's easy to overlook the simple joys when you're always chasing after the next big thing. But taking a step back and being thankful for what you have right now shifts your perspective and helps you feel more fulfilled. Gratitude isn't about pretending that everything in your life is perfect or ignoring the challenges you're facing. It's about acknowledging that even in difficult times there is always something to be grateful for. Maybe it's the support of a friend, a beautiful sunset, or a warm cup of coffee in the morning. These small moments of joy often go unnoticed when we're focused on what we don't have or what's not going well. But when you take the time to notice and appreciate them, you create a sense of contentment that doesn't rely on external circumstances. One of the best ways to cultivate gratitude is to make it a daily practice. Start each day by thinking of a few things you're grateful for. It doesn't have to be anything big. In fact, the small things are often the ones that bring the most joy. It could be as simple as the laughter of a loved one, a delicious meal, or the comfort of your own home. Writing down what you're grateful for can also help you focus on the positive aspects of your life. Keep a gratitude journal, and each day jot down 3 things that made you feel thankful. Over time, this practice trains your brain to notice the good things, even on days when everything feels like it's going wrong. When you make gratitude a habit, you start to shift your focus away from what's missing in your life. Instead of thinking about what you wish you had, you start to appreciate what you do have. And that shift in focus makes a huge difference in how you feel. When you're grateful for what's in front of you, you begin to experience more joy, peace, and satisfaction in your daily life. It's a mindset that opens the door to more positivity, more love, and more connection. Gratitude can also help you navigate tough times. Life isn't always easy, and there will be moments when things don't go the way you want. But even in those moments, practicing gratitude can help you find a sense of peace. When you're facing a difficult situation, take a moment to think about what you can be thankful for in that moment. Maybe it's the support of family or friends, or the lessons you're learning as you go through the challenge. Gratitude doesn't make the hard times go away, but it helps you face them with a more balanced and hopeful mindset. It helps you see that even in the midst of hardship, there are things to be thankful for, and that can make all the difference. Another powerful way gratitude can improve your life is by deepening your relationships. When you express gratitude to the people around you, it strengthens your connections with them. Think about how good it feels when someone thanks you for something you've done, even if it's just a small gesture. Gratitude builds bonds because it makes people feel seen and appreciated. When you show gratitude toward your partner, your friends, or your co-workers, You create a culture of appreciation that strengthens your relationships and encourages kindness and generosity. It's easy to take people for granted, especially when we're busy or stressed. But taking the time to acknowledge the positive impact others have on your life can make a huge difference. Whether it's thanking a colleague for their help, telling a friend how much you appreciate their support, or simply expressing love to your family, small acts of gratitude can go a long way in creating a sense of connection and mutual respect. And the more you express gratitude, the more you'll find that others start doing the same for you. Gratitude creates a ripple effect, spreading kindness and positivity to everyone you come into contact with. There are also physical and emotional benefits to practicing gratitude. Studies have shown that people who regularly practice gratitude have lower levels of stress, improved sleep, and better overall health. Gratitude has been linked to increased levels of happiness and well-being, as well as a stronger immune system. When you focus on what's good in your life, you're not only boosting your mood but also improving your physical health. And because gratitude helps reduce stress, it can also make it easier to cope with challenges and setbacks. Another surprising benefit of gratitude is its ability to boost your resilience. Life is unpredictable, and there will be times when things don't go as planned. But when you have a strong practice of gratitude, you're better able to handle those setbacks with a positive mindset. Gratitude helps you stay grounded even when things feel uncertain. It reminds you that you've faced challenges before and come out stronger, and it gives you the strength to keep going. Gratitude can also help you set more meaningful goals. When you focus on what you're thankful for, you create a sense of abundance in your life. And that feeling of abundance makes it easier to pursue new goals, because you're not coming from a place of lack, you're coming from a place of fulfillment. When you're grateful for what you already have, you're more likely to approach your goals with a sense of excitement and confidence, rather than feeling like you need to achieve them to feel complete. The beauty of gratitude is that it's available to everyone, regardless of their circumstances. No matter where you are in life, you can choose to be grateful. You don't have to wait for something big to happen in order to appreciate the small moments. Gratitude is a mindset, and once you start practicing it, you'll find that it becomes easier and easier to see the good in your life. It doesn't matter what's going wrong. When you focus on what's going right, you shift your energy and your mindset in a positive direction. If you're feeling stuck or unhappy, start by practicing gratitude. Look for the little things that bring you joy, and take a moment to appreciate them. Whether it's the warmth of the sun on your face, a good conversation with a friend, or simply having a few quiet moments to yourself, these small moments of gratitude can add up to a big shift in how you experience life. The more you practice gratitude, the more you'll see how much there is to be thankful for. And the more grateful you are, the more happiness and peace you'll find in your everyday life. Chapter 4. Taking responsibility for your happiness. Taking responsibility for your own happiness is one of the most empowering decisions you can make. It shifts the power from external factors to your internal mindset and actions. The truth is, no one else can make you happy, at least not for long. External circumstances, people and possessions can bring temporary joy, but lasting happiness comes from within. The sooner you accept that your happiness is in your hands, the sooner you'll begin to feel in control of your life and emotions. Many people spend their lives waiting for something outside themselves to change before they allow themselves to feel happy. They believe that once they get that promotion, find the perfect partner, or buy that dream house, they'll finally be happy. But the problem with this thinking is that happiness becomes something to chase rather than something to create. When you rely on external circumstances to determine your happiness, you're putting your well-being in the hands of things you can't always control. And life, as we know, is unpredictable. When you take responsibility for your happiness, you stop blaming others or your circumstances for how you feel. Instead, you start looking within. and recognizing that you have the power to shape your own emotional experience. You realize that your happiness is not tied to what happens to you, but to how you choose to respond to what happens. Life may not always go according to plan, and things may not always work out the way you want them to, but you can still decide how to react. This decision to take responsibility for your happiness is liberating because it frees you from the constant need to wait for external validation or approval. At first, this can be a tough pill to swallow. It can feel easier to blame someone else or a difficult situation for your unhappiness. But blaming others or external circumstances for your unhappiness only keeps you stuck. It's important to acknowledge that life can be challenging and there will be moments that feel out of your control. However, your response to those moments is always within your power. Instead of falling into a victim mindset where you feel powerless, you can choose to rise above and take charge of how you respond. One of the most significant ways to take responsibility for your happiness is to practice self-awareness. When you're aware of your thoughts, feelings, and reactions, you gain insight into how you're shaping your own experience. Self-awareness allows you to see patterns in your behavior that may be contributing to your unhappiness. Perhaps you've noticed that you tend to dwell on negative thoughts or get upset over things that are beyond your control. By being aware of these habits, you can begin to change them. You can choose to focus on the positive, practice gratitude, and shift your mindset in ways that will support your well-being. Taking responsibility for your happiness also involves letting go of the need for constant approval or validation from others. It's easy to fall into the trap of seeking external affirmation, whether it's from your family, your friends, your boss, or your social media followers. While it's nice to receive praise and recognition, your happiness should not depend on other people's opinions. When you stop seeking external validation, you take back the power to define your own worth. You start to realize that you are enough just as you are, and you don't need anyone's approval to feel good about yourself. Another key aspect of taking responsibility for your happiness is setting healthy boundaries. Boundaries are about protecting your time, energy, and well-being. When you allow other people or situations to drain you without setting limits, you are giving away your happiness. But when you set boundaries, you take control of your life and create space for the things that truly bring you joy. This could mean saying no to requests that don't align with your values, stepping back from toxic relationships, or taking time for yourself when you need it. Taking responsibility for your happiness also means embracing self-care. You cannot pour from an empty cup, and if you're constantly giving to others or focusing on everything around you, you may find yourself feeling depleted. Prioritizing your own well-being is essential for maintaining your happiness. This doesn't just mean physical self-care, like eating well or getting enough sleep, but also emotional and mental self-care. Taking time to relax, engage in activities that bring you joy, and nurture your emotional health is vital for sustaining happiness in the long term. It's also important to understand that taking responsibility for your happiness doesn't mean you need to have everything figured out. Life is a journey, and there will be times when you feel uncertain or lost. But even in those moments, you have the ability to choose your attitude and response. You can choose to view challenges as opportunities for growth or as temporary setbacks that won't define your future. When you take responsibility for your happiness, you become more resilient in the face of life's inevitable challenges. Instead of seeing obstacles as roadblocks, you start to see them as stepping stones to something better. Part of taking responsibility for your happiness is also learning to let go of the past. Holding on to past mistakes, regrets, or hurts only keeps you stuck in a negative emotional state. The past is behind you, and while it may have shaped who you are, it doesn't have to define your future. By letting go of old wounds and forgiving yourself, you free yourself to move forward and create the happiness you deserve. Holding on to grudges or past pain only weighs you down, But forgiveness releases that burden and allows you to embrace the present with an open heart. Taking responsibility for your happiness also involves cultivating a mindset of abundance. When you focus on what you have rather than what you lack, you create a sense of fulfillment and contentment. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that you need more in order to be happy, but the truth is, happiness is found in appreciating what you already have. Whether it's your health, your relationships, or the simple joys of everyday life, there is always something to be grateful for. When you shift your focus to the abundance that already exists in your life, you open yourself up to more of what you truly want. One of the most powerful ways to take responsibility for your happiness is by taking action. It's easy to feel stuck or dissatisfied with where you are in life, but waiting for things to change on their own rarely works. Taking responsibility means actively working toward the life you want to create. This could involve pursuing a new career, building stronger relationships, or making changes to improve your mental and physical health. Small steps, taken consistently, can lead to big changes over time. And as you begin to take action, you'll start to see that you have the ability to shape your own future. Ultimately, taking responsibility for your happiness is about shifting your mindset from one of dependence to one of empowerment. It's about understanding that your happiness doesn't come from external sources, but from the choices you make and the actions you take. When you take ownership of your happiness, you stop waiting for things to change and start making the changes you want to see. You realize that you have the power to create the life you desire, and that power lies within you. It's not always easy, and it may require you to make difficult decisions or face uncomfortable truths about yourself. But when you take responsibility for your happiness, you unlock the potential to live a life that is authentic, fulfilling, and joyful. You stop living on autopilot, reacting to life as it happens, and start living intentionally with purpose and direction. And as you continue on this journey, you'll find that the more responsibility you take for your happiness, the more joy and peace you'll experience in your life. Chapter 5. Living in the present moment. Living in the present moment can be one of the most transformative practices you can adopt in your life. So often, we find ourselves caught up in the past or worrying about the future, and in doing so, we miss out on the richness of the here and now. We replay old conversations, regret missed opportunities, or anticipate what might go wrong tomorrow. But the truth is, the only moment that truly matters is the one we're living in right now. When you focus on the present, you're giving yourself the gift of experiencing life as it unfolds. So many people spend years of their lives wishing they could go back or hoping they can get to some future goal. They miss the beauty of today because they're too focused on what's already happened or what might happen. The more you practice being present, the more you realize how much you've been missing. It's easy to say, live in the present, but it's much harder to actually do. Our minds are constantly racing, filled with thoughts of what's next or what could have been. But learning how to quiet your mind and truly engage with what's in front of you is one of the keys to happiness. The first step to being present is simply paying attention. Instead of letting your mind wander, try to focus on the task at hand. Whether it's having a conversation with someone, enjoying a meal, or going for a walk, give all your attention to what you're doing in that moment. This may seem simple, but it's incredibly powerful. Start with small moments. When you're talking to someone, really listen to what they're saying, instead of thinking about what you'll say next. When you're eating, notice the flavors, textures, and smells of the food. When you're walking, pay attention to the sights, sounds, and feelings of the environment around you. Being mindful of these everyday experiences helps you stay connected to the present moment and prevents your mind from drifting away into the past or future. Another way to embrace the present moment is to let go of the need for perfection. So many of us are obsessed with doing things perfectly, whether it's finishing a project at work or keeping up with the expectations of others. This desire for perfection often keeps us from fully experiencing life as it is. We become so focused on the end result that we forget to appreciate the journey. But the truth is, life is messy and unpredictable. It's not about achieving perfection, but about embracing the imperfect moments along the way. Living in the present also means letting go of past mistakes and regrets. We all have moments in our past that we wish we could change, but those moments are gone. Holding on to past pain only keeps us from enjoying the present. The key is to acknowledge the lessons learned from the past without allowing them to dictate your current happiness. You can't change what's already happened, but you can choose to focus on what you can control right now. By freeing yourself from the weight of past regrets, you create space to fully experience the present. At the same time, living in the present also means not getting too caught up in the future. It's natural to have goals and dreams, but when you spend all your time thinking about what's coming next, you miss the opportunity to enjoy the here and now. Worrying about the future only steals joy from today. Instead of obsessing over what might happen, focus on what you can do in this moment to create the future you want. Take small, intentional steps toward your goals without letting the pressure of the future distract you from the present. One of the best ways to practice being present is through mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of bringing your full attention to the present moment without judgment. It's about observing your thoughts, feelings, and physical sensations without getting caught up in them. When you practice mindfulness, you're able to let go of the constant chatter in your mind and simply experience life as it is. You can practice mindfulness in many ways, such as through meditation, deep breathing, or even just paying attention to your surroundings. The more you practice mindfulness, the more natural it becomes to stay present throughout the day. It's also important to recognize that being present doesn't mean you have to be doing something all the time. We often equate busyness with productivity, but sometimes the best way to be present is to simply rest and recharge. Taking time to relax without feeling guilty is an essential part of living in the moment. You don't always have to be moving forward or accomplishing something. Sometimes the most meaningful moments come when you're simply being, not doing. Another powerful way to embrace the present moment is by practicing gratitude. When you focus on what you're grateful for right now, you automatically shift your attention to the present. Gratitude helps you see the beauty in what's around you and appreciate what you have. Instead of longing for something else, you start to realize that you already have everything you need to be happy. Gratitude grounds you in the present and helps you savor life as it is. Living in the present moment also strengthens your relationships. When you're fully present with the people around you, you create deeper, more meaningful connections. How many times have you been talking to someone but your mind is somewhere else? Maybe you're thinking about your to-do list or worrying about something that happened earlier. This lack of presence can make people feel unheard or unimportant. But when you give your full attention to the person you're with, you show them that they matter. You create an environment of trust and connection, and in turn, your relationships become stronger and more fulfilling. It's also worth noting that being present doesn't mean avoiding challenges or difficult emotions. Life is full of ups and downs, and there will be times when you feel stressed, anxious, or upset. However, being present allows you to experience those emotions without letting them control you. Instead of pushing feelings away or trying to avoid discomfort, you can simply acknowledge what you're feeling and allow yourself to experience it. By staying present with your emotions, you avoid getting caught up in negative thought patterns or unnecessary worry. You can process what you're feeling in the moment, which ultimately helps you move through difficult emotions more effectively. Incorporating present moment awareness into your daily routine doesn't require a major overhaul of your life. It's about making small adjustments to how you approach everyday activities. Whether it's taking a few deep breaths before a meeting, fully listening to a friend, or simply noticing the beauty of nature, these moments of presence add up over time. The more you practice being present, the more it becomes a natural part of who you are. Living in the present moment also helps you develop a deeper sense of peace and contentment. When you stop constantly striving for the next thing or dwelling on the past, you create a sense of ease in your life. You start to feel more grounded and centered, and you begin to realize that everything you need for happiness is already here. Being present allows you to enjoy life as it is, without needing anything to be different. It's a way of letting go of stress, worry, and the constant pressure to achieve. It's about accepting life in its raw, unfiltered state, and finding joy in that acceptance. As you start to live more in the present, you'll notice how much more enjoyable life becomes. The world opens up in new ways when you stop holding on to the past or chasing the future. You begin to appreciate the small moments, the warmth of the sun on your skin, the sound of laughter, the taste of your favorite food, or the feeling of connection with another person. These moments, when fully experienced, are what make life rich and meaningful. Chapter 6. The importance of healthy relationships. The people you surround yourself with can have an enormous impact on your overall happiness. We are, in many ways, the sum of the people we interact with most often. If you find yourself surrounded by negative influences, it can be incredibly draining. On the other hand, when you are surrounded by people who support you, lift you up and encourage your growth, life becomes brighter. Healthy relationships are essential to living a fulfilled and happy life. And it's not just about having a lot of friends, it's about having the right friends, the right family, and the right support system. When you think about the relationships in your life, it's important to consider how they make you feel. Do they energize you, or do they leave you feeling drained? Are the people you're spending time with the kind of people who inspire you to be a better version of yourself, or do they encourage you to stay stuck? Healthy relationships are based on mutual respect, trust, and understanding. They're built on the foundation of love and support, not competition or negativity. These relationships give you the strength to face life's challenges, knowing that you have a solid foundation to fall back on when things get tough. Sometimes, the hardest part of building healthy relationships is knowing where to start. If you're used to being around people who are toxic or draining, it can feel overwhelming to even imagine a different kind of connection. But the truth is, healthy relationships begin with you. They start with the way you treat yourself and the boundaries you set for the people you allow into your life. When you value yourself, you naturally begin to attract people who also value and respect you. You start to see the importance of surrounding yourself with people who bring positivity into your life, rather than those who contribute to your stress and unhappiness. A big part of creating healthy relationships is setting boundaries. Boundaries are essential because they help protect your emotional well-being. They define what is acceptable and what is not, and they allow you to take control of your interactions with others. Without boundaries, it's easy to become overwhelmed or taken advantage of. It's important to know when to say no, when to ask for space, and when to stand up for yourself. Healthy relationships are not one-sided. They are built on respect, and part of that respect is honoring each other's needs and limits. Another important aspect of healthy relationships is communication. Open, honest communication is the key to understanding each other and resolving conflicts in a healthy way. Without good communication, misunderstandings can easily occur, and small issues can quickly grow into bigger problems. When you communicate effectively, you create an environment where both people feel heard, valued, and understood. This helps build trust and strengthens the bond between you and the other person. In any relationship, there will be disagreements. It's inevitable. But how you handle these disagreements can make all the difference. In a healthy relationship, disagreements are an opportunity for growth and understanding. Instead of getting defensive or shutting down, take the time to listen to the other person's perspective and express your own feelings without blame or judgment. Healthy conflict resolution is about finding solutions together, not about winning or being right. It's about maintaining the connection and ensuring that both people feel respected throughout the process. It's also important to recognize that healthy relationships require effort from both sides. They are not something that just happen without intentional work. It's easy to fall into the trap of assuming that the other person will always be there, or that relationships should be effortless. But the truth is, relationships require attention, nurturing, and care. You need to make time for each other, show appreciation, and be willing to put in the effort to keep the relationship strong. Whether it's spending quality time together, checking in on each other, or showing acts of kindness, these small gestures help maintain a healthy connection. However, it's not just about giving. Healthy relationships also involve receiving. It's important to allow others to support you, help you, and be there for you. Too often, we get caught up in the idea that we need to do everything on our own, but that can lead to feelings of isolation and burnout. When you open yourself up to receiving love and support, you strengthen the relationship and create a sense of balance. Remember that relationships are a two-way street, and both people should feel supported, cared for, and valued. In addition to romantic relationships, friendships also play a crucial role in our happiness. True friends are the ones who show up for you, who make you feel understood, and who share your joy and pain. Good friends are the people who can be there for you during the tough times and celebrate with you during the good times. Friendships that are based on trust, respect, and shared experiences are some of the most rewarding connections you can have. Surrounding yourself with friends who make you feel safe, loved, and accepted is one of the best things you can do for your happiness. It's also important to recognize that not all relationships are meant to last forever, and that's okay. Sometimes people grow apart or situations change. It can be difficult to let go of relationships that no longer serve you, but it's necessary for your well-being. Hanging on to toxic or unhealthy relationships can keep you stuck in a cycle of stress and unhappiness. It's okay to outgrow people or to realize that a relationship is no longer healthy for you. Letting go of these relationships allows you to make space for the ones that truly nurture and support you. As you focus on cultivating healthy relationships, it's also important to remember that self-love is the foundation of all healthy relationships. You cannot fully give love to others if you don't first love and respect yourself. When you take the time to care for yourself, prioritize your own well-being, and honor your own needs, you set the standard for how others should treat you. Self-love helps you recognize your worth, and when you know your worth, you attract people who will treat you with the same level of care and respect. The power of healthy relationships extends beyond just your immediate circle. When you surround yourself with positive, supportive people, their energy and attitude can have a ripple effect on everyone around them. Healthy relationships create a positive environment that encourages growth, healing, and happiness. Whether it's your family, friends, or colleagues, being around people who genuinely want the best for you can make a world of difference in how you feel about yourself and your life. It's not always easy to navigate relationships, especially when you've been hurt in the past or have experienced difficult interactions. But learning to surround yourself with people who bring out the best in you is worth the effort. It's about choosing to be around people who make you feel seen, heard, and appreciated. Healthy relationships are the ones that make you feel supported and uplifted, and they play a significant role in your overall happiness. Healthy relationships are not just about having people in your life, they're about having the right people. Surrounding yourself with positive influences, people who challenge you in constructive ways, and those who love you unconditionally, is one of the most important decisions you can make for your happiness. Your relationships should empower you to be the best version of yourself, and when they do, you'll find that happiness becomes more natural, more abundant, and more fulfilling. Chapter 7. Forgiving yourself and others. Carrying around the weight of past mistakes, hurt, or resentment can be one of the most exhausting things you can do to yourself. It's as though you're dragging around a heavy burden that keeps you from fully embracing the present or looking forward to the future. Letting go of the past is essential for your well-being and happiness. Holding on to grudges, guilt, or regrets doesn't just affect your mental and emotional health, it can also impact your relationships, your self-esteem, and your ability to find peace. Forgiveness is not an easy thing to do, especially when you've been hurt. It can feel as though the person who wronged you doesn't deserve your forgiveness. But forgiveness isn't about the other person. It's about you. It's about freeing yourself from the emotional grip that holds you hostage. When you forgive, you release yourself from the negative emotions tied to past experiences. You stop allowing those hurtful moments to control your thoughts and actions. The act of forgiving is one of the most empowering things you can do for yourself. Forgiving doesn't mean that you forget what happened or that you condone the behavior that hurt you. It's not about excusing the actions of others. It's about choosing to let go of the pain and the resentment that you've been carrying. When you hold on to anger or resentment, you're allowing those feelings to keep you stuck in the past. You're letting someone else's actions determine how you feel about your life in the present. Forgiveness allows you to take back that control. It allows you to choose peace over anger, healing over bitterness, and freedom over captivity. It's important to remember that forgiveness is a process. It's not something that happens overnight. You may need time to heal, and that's okay. The journey to forgiveness may require patience and self-compassion. It's normal to feel a range of emotions: anger, sadness, frustration, before you can truly forgive. But know that as you begin to release those emotions, you'll feel a sense of relief. The weight will slowly lift, and you'll start to feel lighter. Forgiving others can be incredibly freeing, but self-forgiveness is just as important. We are often our own harshest critics. We beat ourselves up over past decisions, mistakes, or things we wish we had done differently. We carry guilt and shame that we don't always know how to let go of. But holding on to this guilt only keeps us trapped in a cycle of self-judgment. Just as you would forgive a loved one for making a mistake, you need to offer that same grace and compassion to yourself. You're human, and humans make mistakes. The key is to learn from them, grow from them, and then let go. Self-forgiveness starts with acknowledging that you've done the best you could with the knowledge and resources you had at the time. It's about understanding that you're not perfect and that you don't have to be. We often place impossible expectations on ourselves, thinking that we should have known better, done better, or acted differently. But the reality is, we all learn and grow over time. Mistakes don't define you. They are simply a part of your journey. By forgiving yourself, you give yourself permission to move forward, to learn, and to continue becoming the best version of yourself. One of the most powerful ways to let go of guilt or regret is through self-compassion. Instead of being critical of yourself, treat yourself with kindness. When you're feeling down or disappointed in yourself, try to speak to yourself as you would speak to a close friend. You wouldn't scold them for making a mistake, so don't scold yourself. Offer yourself the same love, understanding, and forgiveness that you would offer others. It's a practice that takes time, but it's worth the effort. When it comes to forgiving others, it's important to understand that forgiveness doesn't always mean reconciliation. You may choose to forgive someone, but still decide to distance yourself from them for your own well-being. Forgiveness is about finding peace within yourself, regardless of whether the other person acknowledges their wrongdoing. You don't have to keep people in your life who continue to hurt you. Forgiveness allows you to release the grip they have over you, but it doesn't mean you have to allow them back into your life if it's not healthy for you. There are times when forgiveness feels impossible, especially if the hurt was deep or ongoing. In these cases, it's important to be patient with yourself. Sometimes, forgiveness is a process that unfolds gradually. It's okay to take small steps toward healing. The act of forgiveness doesn't mean you have to forget the hurt. It just means that you're choosing not to let it define you. It means you're choosing to free yourself from the weight of anger and resentment so that you can move forward. In some cases, the person who hurt you may never apologize or acknowledge the harm they caused. This can make forgiveness feel even more difficult. But holding on to that anger and resentment doesn't hurt the other person, it hurts you. The person who wronged you may not even be aware of the pain they caused, or they may have moved on while you're still holding on to the past. Forgiveness allows you to release that pain and reclaim your own peace. It's not about the other person, it's about you and your own healing. You might also find that forgiveness doesn't necessarily change the other person, but it changes you. It frees you from being a prisoner to your emotions. When you forgive, you take back the power you've given away to the past. You decide how you want to feel, and you refuse to let the hurt hold you back from experiencing joy. Forgiveness helps you create space for positive emotions, love, compassion, peace, while clearing out the negative energy that holds you down. When you let go of past hurts, you also open yourself up to new experiences. You stop looking through the lens of past pain, and you start to see the world with fresh eyes. Life becomes less about what happened to you and more about what you can create moving forward. When you forgive, you make room for growth and healing. You make room for new opportunities, new relationships, and new possibilities. Forgiveness also improves your overall mental and physical health. When you're carrying around anger, resentment, or guilt, it takes a toll on your body. These negative emotions can lead to stress, anxiety, and even physical health problems. By letting go of these emotions, you lower your stress levels and improve your mental clarity. You start to feel lighter, more at peace, and more energized. It's as though a weight has been lifted from your shoulders. Forgiving others and forgiving yourself are two of the most powerful acts of self-care you can practice. It's about taking control of your own happiness and not letting the past dictate how you feel today. It's about choosing peace over pain and healing over harm. It's a lifelong process, but each step you take toward forgiveness brings you closer to a life of freedom, joy, and inner peace. Chapter 8. How to find purpose and meaning in life. Life can sometimes feel like a maze, full of twists and turns, and it's easy to find yourself questioning what it's all about. Why are you here? What's the purpose of it all? Having a clear sense of purpose and meaning in life doesn't just make everything feel more worthwhile, it makes everything more manageable. When you know why you're doing what you're doing, the tough days become easier to handle. It gives you direction, focus, and motivation, especially when things aren't going as planned. Finding purpose in life isn't something that happens instantly. It's not about waiting for some grand revelation or a lightning bolt of inspiration. It's more of a process of discovery that unfolds over time. Your purpose may change as you grow and experience new things. And that's okay. Life is not a one-size-fits-all journey, and your path may not look the same as someone else's. But the key is to be open to discovering what truly resonates with you. When you feel aligned with your purpose, everything starts to click. The work you do, the relationships you build, the choices you make, they all start to feel more meaningful. Finding purpose is about understanding your values. What really matters to you? What brings you fulfillment and joy? It could be family, creativity, helping others, or learning new things. Your values are the foundation of your purpose. Once you understand what drives you, it's easier to build your life around those things. Purpose isn't necessarily about doing something grand or monumental. It's about finding what makes you feel alive, what gives you a sense of contribution, and what feels like it aligns with your true self. Sometimes finding your purpose can feel daunting, especially if you don't know where to start. If you're unsure about what your purpose is, it's helpful to take a step back and reflect on your life up until this point. What have been the most rewarding moments? When have you felt most connected to your true self? These moments can offer clues about your purpose. Maybe you've always felt a sense of fulfillment when you're helping others, or perhaps you feel most at peace when you're working on creative projects. Pay attention to those moments. They're a window into what matters most to you. One of the most common ways to find purpose is through work or career, but purpose doesn't have to come from your job. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that our career defines who we are and what we're meant to do. But the truth is, your purpose can extend beyond your professional life. It can be found in the way you show up for others, the way you contribute to your community, or the way you care for yourself. Your purpose is the thing that fuels your spirit, and it can take many forms. Sometimes purpose is found in the things you enjoy doing the most. If you're passionate about something, whether it's art, cooking, sports, or writing, that passion is often a reflection of something deeper. Those things you love aren't just hobbies, they're part of who you are. They can be an expression of your values, your creativity, or your desire to connect with others. It's important to honor those passions because they can guide you toward a life that feels more aligned with who you are. Another way to uncover your purpose is by looking at the challenges you've faced. Difficulties and setbacks can often reveal a deeper sense of meaning. Maybe a tough time in your life pushed you to discover strength you didn't know you had, or a period of struggle inspired you to help others who are going through something similar. The hardships you've experienced may have provided the space for growth and self-discovery. Your purpose may be tied to those experiences, giving you the ability to make a difference in the lives of others who are facing similar challenges. When you feel connected to your purpose, it brings clarity to your decisions. You start to make choices that align with your values, even if those choices aren't always the easiest or most popular. It's about living authentically, doing what feels right for you, and knowing that you're moving towards something that's meaningful. Purpose gives you the strength to face uncertainty, because you know that whatever happens, you're on the right path for you. Finding purpose also involves learning to let go of things that don't serve you. It's easy to get distracted by things that don't align with your values, whether it's the pressure to fit in, the fear of not measuring up, or the pursuit of things that aren't truly important. When you have a clear sense of purpose, it becomes easier to recognize what's worth your time and energy and what's not. You can start to let go of the things that hold you back, whether it's unhealthy relationships, negative thought patterns, or outdated beliefs about yourself. Purpose isn't just about personal fulfillment, it can also be about contribution. When you feel connected to a cause or a community, you start to realize that your purpose goes beyond yourself. It's about what you can give to the world, whether it's through your work, your relationships, or your passions. The impact you have on others is often the most fulfilling part of your purpose. When you contribute to something greater than yourself, you tap into a deeper sense of meaning that transcends your individual experiences. One of the best ways to stay connected to your purpose is through consistency. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle of daily life, and sometimes it feels like we lose sight of what matters. But when you take time every day to connect with your purpose, whether through mindfulness, reflection, or action, it becomes easier to stay grounded in what really matters. Purpose isn't something you find once and then forget about. It's something that needs to be nurtured and reaffirmed regularly. It's about showing up for yourself and your dreams, day after day. Even as you work toward your purpose, it's important to give yourself grace. The journey to purpose isn't always straightforward. There will be moments of doubt, moments of confusion, and moments when you question if you're on the right path. But know that these moments are part of the process. It's okay to not have everything figured out right away. Purpose is about the journey, not the destination. It's about staying open to the possibilities, trusting yourself, and allowing the path to unfold as you go. Finding purpose is also about making peace with your past. Sometimes we feel like our past mistakes or missed opportunities have held us back from finding our true calling. But the truth is, every experience, both good and bad, has led you to where you are today. It's all part of your story, and it's what makes you uniquely qualified to pursue the purpose that's waiting for you. When you accept your past as part of your journey, you can move forward with confidence and clarity. Living a life of purpose doesn't mean that everything will always be easy. It's not about avoiding struggles or challenges, it's about knowing that those challenges are part of the bigger picture. When you're aligned with your purpose, you'll have the strength to face whatever comes your way. You'll be able to see every obstacle as an opportunity for growth, every setback as a chance to learn, and every success as a reminder that you're on the right track. As you go through life, remember that your purpose doesn't have to be perfect, and it doesn't have to look the same as anyone else's. It's yours, and it will evolve with you. The most important thing is to stay connected to what makes you feel alive, what makes you feel fulfilled, and what brings you joy. When you do that, you'll find that the world becomes a much brighter, more meaningful place. Chapter 9. Managing Stress for a Happier Life. Stress is something we all face in our lives, whether it's from work, family, relationships, or the constant pressure to keep up with everything. It's easy to feel overwhelmed. It can sometimes feel like a never-ending cycle of pressure that starts to affect your health, happiness, and even your ability to enjoy the good things in life. But managing stress is something you can do. It's not about completely eliminating stress, because that's impossible. Instead, it's about learning how to deal with it in a way that doesn't take over your life. The first thing to realize is that stress isn't always a bad thing. Some level of stress can actually be motivating. It can push you to get things done, to meet deadlines, or to overcome challenges. But when stress becomes constant and overwhelming, it starts to drain your energy and make you feel like you're losing control. That's when it becomes a problem. The key is learning how to find balance. When you're able to manage your stress, it gives you the power to handle life's challenges with a clear mind and a calm heart. One of the first steps to managing stress is recognizing the signs. Stress can show up in many different ways. It could be physical symptoms like headaches, muscle tension, or trouble sleeping. Or it could be emotional, like feeling irritable, anxious, or overwhelmed. Sometimes stress can even affect your behavior, making you more reactive or withdrawn. Understanding how stress affects you personally is the first step to taking control. Once you're aware of the symptoms, you can start to address them before they spiral out of control. One of the most effective ways to deal with stress is through breathing exercises. When you're stressed, your body goes into a fight or flight response, which means your heart rate increases, your muscles tense up, and your mind races. Deep breathing helps counteract this by signaling to your body that it's safe to relax. By taking slow, deep breaths, you can calm your nervous system and bring yourself back to a state of balance. Even just a few minutes of focused breathing can make a huge difference. You'll notice your stress level drop, your body will relax, and your mind will start to clear up. It's a simple tool that you can use anywhere, anytime, and it's incredibly effective. Another important aspect of managing stress is taking care of your body. When you're physically healthy, you're better equipped to handle stress. Regular exercise is one of the best ways to reduce stress. It doesn't have to be intense. Just taking a walk, doing some yoga, or engaging in any physical activity that you enjoy can help release built-up tension. Exercise triggers the release of endorphins, which are chemicals in the brain that improve your mood and reduce pain. It also improves sleep, boosts energy levels, and helps you think more clearly. When you take care of your body, your mind will follow. Speaking of sleep, it's another key piece of the puzzle. When you're stressed, it can be difficult to sleep well. Your mind races, you toss and turn, and the lack of sleep only makes everything worse. But getting enough quality sleep is crucial for managing stress. Sleep is when your body and mind recharge. It's when you process emotions, consolidate memories, and restore your energy. Without enough sleep, it becomes harder to cope with stress effectively. So, if you find yourself struggling to sleep, consider establishing a bedtime routine that helps you relax. This could include turning off electronic devices an hour before bed, practicing deep breathing, or reading a book to calm your mind. Prioritizing good sleep habits can make a significant difference in how you handle stress. Nutrition plays a role as well. What you eat has a direct impact on how you feel. When you're stressed, it's easy to fall into unhealthy eating, habits grabbing quick processed snacks, or overeating to comfort yourself. But that can actually make things worse. Eating a balanced diet, rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins, helps keep your body fueled and your mind sharp. Avoiding too much caffeine, alcohol, or sugar is also important, as these can trigger or worsen stress. When you nourish your body with healthy food, you're giving yourself the energy and resilience you need to manage stress more effectively. It's also important to make time for relaxation and fun. When life gets busy, it's easy to skip out on activities that bring you joy. But making time for things you enjoy is one of the best ways to reset your mind and reduce stress. Whether it's reading, listening to music, spending time with loved ones, or just sitting outside in nature, these activities give you a break from your daily responsibilities and allow you to recharge. They provide a reminder that life is about more than just work or obligations. Taking time to enjoy the little things can help you see stress in a new light and give you the strength to deal with it more effectively. Sometimes it's about learning to say no. We live in a world that often rewards busyness, but it's okay to step back and prioritize your well-being. You don't have to say yes to every request or obligation that comes your way. Setting boundaries is one of the most powerful ways to manage stress. It's about knowing your limits and protecting your time and energy. When you learn to say no when needed, you're not only taking care of yourself, you're also showing respect for your time and your needs. It's a practice that helps reduce overwhelm and prevents you from taking on too much. Another key to managing stress is learning how to change your mindset. Often, stress comes from how we perceive situations. When something goes wrong, we may automatically jump to the worst-case scenario or feel like everything is falling apart. But stress isn't just about what happens to you, it's about how we respond to it. By shifting your perspective and choosing to focus on the positives, you can reduce your stress levels. Instead of dwelling on problems, try to look for solutions. Instead of seeing challenges as obstacles, view them as opportunities for growth. It's about reframing your thoughts in a way that helps you feel more empowered and in control. Having a strong support system is also essential for managing stress. It's okay to ask for help when you need it. Whether it's talking to a friend, a family member, or a therapist, having someone to listen and offer support can make a huge difference. You don't have to go through life's challenges alone. Sharing your thoughts and feelings with others can help you gain perspective and feel less isolated. Plus, knowing that there are people who care about you can help lighten the load and make stress feel more manageable. It's important to remember that stress is a part of life. You won't always be able to avoid it, and there will always be moments of difficulty. But the way you handle stress is what truly matters. When you develop healthy coping strategies and learn how to manage stress, you empower yourself to navigate life's challenges with grace and resilience. It's not about getting rid of stress completely, it's about finding ways to keep it in check, so it doesn't take over your life. By taking care of your body, nurturing your mind, and building a support system, you can manage stress in a way that allows you to live a happier, more balanced life. Chapter 10. Being kind to yourself. Taking the time to be kind to yourself might sound simple, but it's something that many of us overlook. We're so often caught up in the hustle of life, trying to meet expectations, handle responsibilities, and live up to the standards that we or others have set. It's easy to forget that we deserve the same care and compassion that we so freely offer to others. Being kind to yourself isn't about being self-centered or indulgent, it's about giving yourself the love and understanding that you truly need to thrive. We're all our own worst critics. It's so easy to focus on the things we didn't get right, the mistakes we made, or the times we fell short of our expectations. But the truth is, no one is perfect. We all have our flaws, our challenges, and our moments of struggle. What sets people apart is how they treat themselves during those times. Being kind to yourself means accepting your imperfections, not with judgment, but with empathy. It means acknowledging that you are human, and it's okay to make mistakes, to stumble, and to learn along the way. One of the simplest ways to be kinder to yourself is to stop the negative self-talk. You might not even realize how often you criticize yourself, but if you start paying attention, you might be surprised. Every time you think, "I'm not good enough," "I can't do this," or "I'll never succeed," you're feeding your mind with negativity. This kind of self-talk can wear you down over time. Instead, try to reframe your thoughts. When you catch yourself being self-critical, challenge those thoughts. Ask yourself, would I say this to a friend? If the answer is no, then why say it to yourself? Replace those negative thoughts with affirmations of your worth, your abilities, and your progress. Being kind to yourself also means allowing yourself to take breaks and rest when you need it. We live in a culture that often equates productivity with value. The more you work, the more you achieve, the more you're worth. But the truth is, everyone needs rest. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Your body and mind need time to recover in order to be at their best. So, when you're tired, it's okay to stop. It's okay to take a nap, to relax, or to simply do nothing. Taking breaks doesn't make you lazy, it makes you smart. It's an essential part of maintaining your health, your energy, and your overall well-being. Another important part of being kind to yourself is setting healthy boundaries. It's easy to say yes to everyone and everything, but that can quickly lead to burnout. You don't have to take on every task, every responsibility, or every request that comes your way. Saying no isn't selfish, it's necessary. Setting boundaries means that you're taking control of your time and your energy. It means that you're protecting yourself from overcommitting and from being stretched too thin. When you honor your own needs and limits, you are being kind to yourself. It's a sign of self-respect and a way to ensure that you have the resources of physical, emotional, and mental to give to others when you're truly able to. A big part of kindness is forgiveness. We all make mistakes. Whether it's a small misstep or a big mistake, it's important to remember that it's part of being human. The key is not to hold on to guilt or shame. These feelings don't serve you. They only keep you stuck in the past. Being kind to yourself means letting go of self-blame and choosing to forgive yourself. It's about recognizing that you did the best you could with what you knew at the time. If you could go back, you might do things differently, but the past is over, and it doesn't define you. Every day is a new opportunity to grow and improve. So, forgive yourself, learn from the experience, and move forward. In addition to self-forgiveness, practicing self-compassion is a powerful way to be kind to yourself. Self-compassion involves treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer to a loved one who is struggling. It's about acknowledging that life is hard and everyone goes through tough times. Instead of beating yourself up for not being perfect, allow yourself to feel what you feel without judgment. If you're going through a hard time, it's okay to be sad, frustrated, or disappointed. Don't try to push those feelings away. Allow yourself to feel them fully, then let them pass. By being compassionate with yourself, you make space for healing and growth. Physical self-care is also an important aspect of being kind to yourself. You only have one body, and it deserves your love and care. This doesn't mean you have to spend hours at the gym or follow a strict diet. It means paying attention to what your body needs. Are you getting enough sleep? Are you eating nutritious foods that fuel your body? Are you moving in ways that feel good to you? Physical self-care is about listening to your body and giving it the nourishment, rest, and exercise it needs to function at its best. When you take care of your body, you're showing yourself kindness and respect. Being kind to yourself is also about embracing joy. It's easy to get caught up in the pressures of daily life and forget to enjoy the simple pleasures. But joy is essential to your well-being, whether it's laughing with friends, enjoying a good book, or spending time in nature. Make room for things that make you smile. Allow yourself to experience joy without guilt. It's not selfish to have fun, and it's not a waste of time. In fact, joy can replenish your energy, boost your mood, and make it easier to face life's challenges with a positive outlook. Another form of kindness is to be patient with yourself. Growth takes time, and it's important to recognize that change doesn't happen overnight. Whether you're working on a personal goal or trying to improve a habit, be patient with yourself as you progress. Don't expect perfection, and don't expect things to always go as planned. Sometimes, things will take longer than you expect, or you'll encounter setbacks along the way. That's part of the process. Be kind to yourself by acknowledging your efforts and celebrating the small victories. Remember, every step forward, no matter how small, is progress. Kindness to yourself also means acknowledging your worth. Too often we base our self-worth on external factors like our job, our appearance, or how others perceive us. But true worth comes from within. You are valuable simply because you are you. You don't need to achieve anything to prove your worth. You don't need to meet anyone's expectations to be deserving of love and respect. When you recognize your intrinsic worth, you free yourself from the pressure to constantly prove yourself. You allow yourself to be at peace with who you are right now, in this moment. Being kind to yourself isn't a one-time thing. It's a daily practice. It's about consistently choosing to treat yourself with the care, respect, and compassion you deserve. It's about recognizing that your happiness and well-being matter just as much as anyone else's. When you make kindness a habit, it becomes easier to face life's challenges with resilience and confidence. It becomes easier to handle setbacks without falling apart. It becomes easier to appreciate the good in your life and to move through each day with a sense of peace and contentment. So, take a moment to be kind to yourself today. You deserve it. Chapter 11. The importance of time for yourself. In today's world, where everything moves so quickly, it's easy to forget how important it is to take time for yourself. You might feel like there's always something to do, someone to take care of, or some responsibility waiting for you. But in all of that, it's crucial not to lose sight of yourself. Taking time for yourself isn't just a luxury, it's a necessity for your well-being and happiness. It might seem difficult or even selfish at times, but when you take care of your own needs, you're in a better position to show up for the people and responsibilities that matter to you. We often get caught up in the constant demands of life work, family, friends, social obligations, and up pushing our own needs aside. We feel guilty for even thinking about taking a break or having some time to ourselves. But the reality is that by neglecting yourself, you're only setting yourself up for burnout and frustration. The key to maintaining balance and peace in your life is creating space for yourself, away from the pressures and obligations that surround you. When you make time for yourself, you recharge. You refresh your mind, body, and soul, and you become more equipped to face life's challenges with energy and enthusiasm. It doesn't have to be an entire day off or a long vacation. Sometimes just carving out a small window of time can make a world of difference. Maybe it's an hour in the morning before the house wakes up, or it's taking a walk after dinner to clear your head. Maybe it's sitting down with a book or listening to music that makes you feel good. The important thing is that you're setting aside time that's just for you. It's a moment where you're not answering emails, managing schedules, or attending to anyone else's needs. It's time to nurture yourself, your thoughts, and your feelings. Taking time for yourself doesn't always mean being alone, though. It can also mean engaging in activities that bring you joy and make you feel alive. It could be anything that helps you reconnect with yourself and your passions. Whether it's painting, writing, gardening, cooking, or practicing yoga, these are the moments that help ground you. They remind you of who you are outside of your responsibilities. They allow you to tap into your creativity, express yourself, and enjoy the process, not just the result. Time for yourself can also mean indulging in things that help you relax and recharge, things like a hot bath, a cup of tea, or even a nap. It's about finding those little pockets of time throughout the day where you can center yourself. Sometimes, the idea of taking time for yourself can feel daunting, especially when there's a never-ending to-do list staring back at you. You might feel like you're being irresponsible by taking time away from your tasks. But the truth is, the more you take care of yourself, the more productive and focused you'll be in the long run. When you give yourself permission to rest and rejuvenate, you come back to your responsibilities with a clearer mind and a more positive attitude. You're able to approach tasks with fresh energy and a sense of calm, rather than feeling overwhelmed and drained. Taking breaks and prioritizing self-care isn't a sign of weakness. It's a smart, effective way to maintain balance and be at your best. Another reason why taking time for yourself is so important is that it helps you stay connected to your own needs and desires. When you're constantly on the go, it's easy to forget what truly matters to you. You might get so caught up in meeting everyone else's expectations or fulfilling external demands that you lose sight of your own goals and dreams. Having time for yourself allows you to check in with yourself. What are you feeling? What do you need? What brings you joy? What's been on your mind lately? These are questions you can only answer when you take the time to listen to your inner voice. In the busyness of life, it's easy to forget what you want out of life. But when you make time for yourself, you're giving yourself the space to reflect and realign with your own purpose. It's also important to remember that taking time for yourself isn't about being perfect. It's not about having every minute of your alone time planned out or filled with productive activities. Sometimes, just being present in the moment is enough. Sometimes, the best thing you can do for yourself is simply to breathe and be still. It's okay if your time for yourself doesn't look like what you see on social media or what others might suggest. The key is that it's authentic to you. It's what feels right for you in that moment. When you make self-care a priority, it can also improve your relationships with others. Think about it: when you're constantly giving to others without taking time for yourself, it can lead to feelings of resentment or exhaustion. But when you nurture yourself, you have more to give. You become a better listener, a more patient friend, and a more engaged partner. You're able to show up fully for others because you've shown up for yourself first. You've taken care of your own well-being, and now you're in a better position to share that positive energy with those around you. It's also important to acknowledge that everyone's needs for alone time are different. Some people thrive in solitude and need plenty of space to recharge, while others might find energy in spending time with friends or family. There's no right or wrong way to approach it, as long as you're taking the time you need to check in with yourself. If you're someone who needs a lot of alone time, don't feel guilty about it. If you're someone who finds energy in socializing, that's perfectly fine too. The key is to find what works for you and make it a priority. Another aspect of taking time for yourself is learning how to say no. You don't have to say yes to everything that comes your way. You don't have to attend every event or take on every favor or request. Learning to say no is an important part of self-care because it allows you to preserve your energy for the things that matter most to you. Saying no doesn't make you selfish or unkind. It means you're respecting your own time and energy. It's about recognizing that you can't pour from an empty cup, and sometimes you have to set boundaries in order to keep yourself balanced. Ultimately, taking time for yourself isn't just about physical rest, it's about emotional and mental rest as well. You need time to decompress, to let your mind unwind, and to release any stress or tension you might be carrying. This might mean going for a walk in nature, practicing deep breathing, or simply sitting quietly with a cup of coffee and letting your thoughts wander. It's about finding ways to quiet the noise and reconnect with your inner peace. So, take a moment to reflect on how you're taking care of yourself. Are you giving yourself the space you need to recharge? Are you making time for the things that nourish you, whether that's physical rest, creative expression, or just moments of stillness? Remember, you're worth the time. You deserve to have moments that are just for you. And when you make time for yourself, you not only improve your own well-being, you enhance every part of your life. You become more focused, more energized, and more able to face the challenges of each day with strength and clarity. Take that time for yourself. You deserve it. Chapter 12. Learning to let go of negative emotions. It's so easy to get tangled up in negative emotions, isn't it? They seem to creep in without warning, and before you know it, you're feeling weighed down. Whether it's frustration, anger, sadness, or disappointment, these emotions can quickly take over and control how we see the world around us. The thing is, negative emotions are a normal part of life. Everyone experiences them, and they're not inherently bad. They can actually serve a purpose, like alerting us to something we need to pay attention to or helping us process difficult situations. But when we hold on to them for too long, they can become a burden, keeping us stuck in a cycle of negativity. Learning to let go of these emotions is a vital part of living a happier, more fulfilled life. Think about it. How many times have you found yourself holding on to a grudge or replaying a situation in your head over and over, long after it's happened? It's exhausting, isn't it? And it doesn't change anything. All it does is drain your energy and cloud your mind. The truth is, we often hold on to negative emotions because we think that by doing so, we can somehow protect ourselves. We think that by holding on to anger or resentment, we're setting boundaries or seeking justice. But in reality, those emotions are like chains that keep us tied to the past, preventing us from moving forward. One of the most powerful things you can do for yourself is to learn how to release these emotions. It's not about pretending they don't exist or pushing them down. It's about acknowledging them, understanding where they're coming from, and then choosing to let them go. It might sound easier said than done, but it's possible, and with practice it gets easier over time. Start by recognizing when you're holding on to something negative. It could be something as simple as feeling irritated by a small inconvenience, or something bigger like a past hurt that you haven't fully processed. The first step is to notice the feeling without judgment. Often, we try to suppress emotions because we think they're wrong or that we shouldn't feel that way. But emotions are just feelings, and they don't define us. They're temporary, and they don't have to control our actions. Once you've identified the emotion, take a moment to understand what it's trying to tell you. Sometimes negative emotions arise because we feel threatened, misunderstood, or powerless. Other times they come from unmet expectations or unhealed wounds. Digging a little deeper into the root of the emotion can give you valuable insight into what needs attention in your life. Are you angry because you feel disrespected? Are you sad because you're missing something important to you? Understanding the why behind your feelings is a powerful step in releasing them. Next, try to express the emotion in a healthy way. Holding things in only leads to more frustration, so find an outlet. It could be talking to a trusted friend, journaling your thoughts, or even engaging in physical activity. When we express our emotions, we allow ourselves to release the pent-up energy, making it easier to let go. Sometimes, simply acknowledging how we feel and giving ourselves permission to feel that way is enough to start the healing process. It's okay to feel what you're feeling. It's a natural part of being human. What matters is what you do with those feelings once you've experienced them. Another way to let go of negative emotions is through forgiveness. Forgiveness doesn't mean excusing someone else's behavior or saying that what happened was okay. It's about freeing yourself from the grip of anger, resentment, or hurt. When you hold on to unforgiveness, you're allowing someone or something from the past to continue affecting you in the present. Forgiveness is a gift you give yourself, not the other person. It's about releasing the emotional weight that you've been carrying, so you can move forward with a lighter heart and a clearer mind. It's important to remember that letting go doesn't mean forgetting or ignoring what happened. It means accepting that the situation is part of your past and choosing not to let it define your present or future. Letting go is about making peace with what is and opening yourself up to new possibilities. You can't change the past, but you can change how you respond to it. You have the power to choose how much weight you carry. Another helpful practice in letting go is mindfulness. Mindfulness is about being present in the moment and observing your thoughts and feelings without getting attached to them. When you're mindful, you're able to notice when negative emotions arise, but you don't get caught up in them. You simply acknowledge the emotion, let it pass through you, and then return to the present moment. It's like watching clouds float by in the sky. One comes and goes, and none of them stay forever. By practicing mindfulness, you start to create distance between yourself and your emotions, which makes it easier to release them. Sometimes the hardest part about letting go is the fear of what might happen once we do. We may worry that by letting go of anger or fear, we're somehow giving up control or allowing people to take advantage of us. But in reality, letting go is one of the most powerful ways to take control of your life. It's not about giving in, it's about choosing peace over conflict and freedom over resentment. When you release negative emotions, you're making room for better things to enter your life. You're opening the door to healing, growth, and new opportunities. The longer you hold on to negativity, the longer you delay your own happiness. A key part of letting go is also learning to let go of expectations. We often set ourselves up for disappointment by holding on to rigid expectations about how things should go. We expect others to behave a certain way, or we believe that life should unfold according to our plans. When things don't go as expected, we can become frustrated or upset. But life is unpredictable, and things don't always go the way we hope. Instead of holding on to disappointment, try to release your expectations and accept what is. Trust that everything is unfolding exactly as it should, even if it doesn't look the way you imagined. When you let go of expectations, you free yourself from the stress and disappointment that come with trying to control everything around you. It's important to remember that letting go is an ongoing process. It's not something you do once and then never think about again. Letting go is a practice, and it may require you to release the same emotions multiple times. But each time you let go, you get a little bit better at it. You build resilience and emotional strength, and over time, you'll find that letting go becomes easier and more natural. By learning to let go of negative emotions, you're giving yourself the gift of freedom. You're choosing to release the weight that's been holding you down and stepping into a lighter, more peaceful version of yourself. It might take time, and it might not always be easy, but the rewards are worth it. When you let go of the things that no longer serve you, you make space for joy, love, and positivity to flow into your life. You create room for new experiences, new relationships, and a renewed sense of inner peace. So, let go and let yourself live the happy, fulfilling life that you deserve. Chapter 13. Embracing happiness every day. Every day brings a new opportunity to experience happiness. The moments when we're truly content and at ease with ourselves are often fleeting, but they can also be the most powerful parts of our lives. Embracing happiness every day doesn't mean we'll be happy all the time. It's about recognizing those moments when they do come and allowing ourselves to fully experience them. It's about shifting your perspective and choosing to find the good in everyday life, even when things don't seem perfect. The beauty of life lies in its simplicity, and the more we can appreciate the small moments, the more fulfilled we'll feel. Too often, we get caught up in the idea that happiness is a destination we'll eventually reach if we just work hard enough, have enough, or achieve enough. But happiness isn't a place, it's a choice. It's something you can experience right now, regardless of your circumstances. By focusing on the present moment and savoring life's simple pleasures, you'll discover that happiness can be found even on the most ordinary days. It's about learning how to feel joy in the small things that we often overlook: the warm cup of coffee in the morning, a smile from a stranger, or a moment of peace in the middle of a busy day. Happiness doesn't always have to come from big events or achievements. It can be as simple as sitting quietly in nature, laughing with a friend, or just taking a deep breath and appreciating where you are in that moment. When we make space for happiness to enter our lives, we start to see it everywhere, like light filtering through the trees or the sound of birds in the distance. It's about pausing and appreciating the little things that make life worth living. These are the moments that often go unnoticed, but they are the ones that, when acknowledged, can have the most profound impact on how we feel day to day. One way to embrace happiness every day is to start each day with intention. Rather than letting the morning rush take over, carve out a few minutes for yourself to focus on what you're grateful for. It doesn't have to be anything big. Maybe it's the feeling of the sun on your skin, the comfort of your bed, or the opportunity to begin another day. Starting your day with a sense of gratitude sets a positive tone that carries through the rest of your activities. When you start with a mindset of appreciation, it becomes easier to spot the little joys that pop up throughout the day. Happiness is also about giving yourself permission to feel good. Sometimes we feel guilty for experiencing joy, especially when there's so much going on around us that demands our attention. We get caught up in the idea that we shouldn't be happy unless everything in our life is perfect, and that mindset can keep us stuck. But life will never be perfect, and waiting for the right moment to be happy will only keep us waiting forever. Happiness is available to us in every moment, and we don't need permission from anyone else to feel it. Allow yourself to experience joy, even when things aren't perfect. In fact, finding joy despite challenges can be one of the most powerful ways to build resilience and positivity. Another key to embracing happiness every day is to be kind to yourself. We often hold ourselves to high standards and expect perfection in everything we do. When things don't go as planned, it's easy to fall into self-criticism and negative self-talk. But being kind to yourself is essential for your happiness. Instead of focusing on your mistakes or shortcomings, recognize that you're doing your best, and that's enough. Treat yourself with the same compassion and understanding that you'd offer to a friend. When you embrace self-compassion, you free yourself from the pressure to be perfect, and you open up space for joy to enter your life. It's also important to surround yourself with positive influences. The people you spend time with can have a huge impact on your mood and outlook on life. When you're around people who uplift you, who support your dreams, and who celebrate the good things in life, it becomes easier to embrace happiness. On the flip side, if you're constantly around people who are negative, critical, or draining, it can be harder to find joy. Choose to spend time with those who make you feel good, who inspire you, and who encourage you to be the best version of yourself. Embracing happiness every day also involves practicing mindfulness. When we're constantly rushing from one task to the next, it's easy to miss out on the present moment. We're often too focused on what's coming next or what's already behind us to truly enjoy what's happening right now. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present and engaged in whatever you're doing. Whether you're eating a meal, talking to a friend, or simply sitting quietly, mindfulness allows you to experience life more fully and deeply. By being present in the moment, you can find happiness in the simplest of activities. It's also about letting go of the need for external validation. We often seek happiness in the form of recognition or approval from others. We want to be seen, heard, and appreciated. While it's natural to seek connection, relying on others for your happiness can leave you feeling empty. True happiness comes from within. It's about learning to validate yourself and appreciate your own worth, regardless of outside opinions. When you stop depending on others to determine how you feel, you become more grounded in your own sense of self-worth. This independence is empowering, and it allows you to experience happiness on your own terms. As you embrace happiness every day, it's important to remember that it's not always about feeling happy in the traditional sense. Happiness can take many forms. Sometimes it's a quiet sense of contentment. Other times it's a burst of laughter or excitement. Sometimes it's the peace that comes from just being. Happiness is fluid, and it's always about having a constant state of joy. It's about recognizing and appreciating the moments of happiness that exist within each day, no matter how small they may seem. Remember that happiness is a journey, not a destination. It's a practice that you can nurture every day, and it will grow over time. By shifting your mindset, embracing gratitude, letting go of perfectionism, and choosing to see the beauty in each moment, you'll find that happiness isn't something you need to chase. It's something that's already within you, waiting to be embraced. Every day holds the potential for happiness, and by choosing to focus on the positive, you create a life that's rich with joy, fulfillment, and meaning. Chapter 14. Letting go of perfectionism. Perfectionism can be a heavy weight to carry, and often it's something we impose on ourselves. It creeps into the way we think about our work, our relationships, and even our own worth. We set impossibly high standards and convince ourselves that anything less is unacceptable. But the truth is, perfectionism is a trap. It's an endless cycle that keeps us from feeling good enough, no matter how much we achieve. The pursuit of perfection can make us feel stuck, stressed, and constantly dissatisfied. The pressure to be perfect can show up in many areas of life, from the way we approach our careers to how we look in the mirror. We convince ourselves that we have to be the best, do everything flawlessly, and appear flawless to others. But what we forget is that perfectionism isn't just about achieving excellence, it's about being afraid of failure, about being scared to show our imperfections. The constant striving for perfection keeps us from fully enjoying life, because we're always chasing something that can never truly be attained. What if we let go of this idea of perfection? What if, instead of aiming for an impossible standard, we aimed for progress? What if we focused on doing our best, not on doing everything perfectly? Letting go of perfectionism doesn't mean lowering your standards, it means shifting your focus to progress and growth. It's about accepting that mistakes are part of the process and that they don't diminish our worth. In fact, they often teach us the most valuable lessons. When we embrace the idea that we don't have to be perfect, we give ourselves permission to be human. We accept that we will make mistakes, that things won't always go according to plan, and that's okay. Life isn't about being flawless, it's about learning, growing, and enjoying the journey. Perfectionism can keep us locked in a constant state of dissatisfaction because we're never able to measure up to the impossible ideal we've created in our minds. But once we let go of that, we open ourselves up to the freedom of being ourselves, flaws and all. It's also important to recognize that perfectionism often stems from fear of failure, fear of judgment, and fear of not being good enough. When we're afraid of failing, we hold back, we avoid taking risks, and we stay in our comfort zones. But by doing so, we limit ourselves. We miss out on the growth and opportunities that come from taking chances. When we let go of perfectionism, we free ourselves from that fear. We stop worrying about what others might think, and we start living for ourselves. One of the most powerful shifts we can make is moving from a mindset of perfection to one of self-compassion. When we're kind to ourselves, we stop holding ourselves to unrealistic standards. We allow ourselves to be imperfect and to make mistakes without beating ourselves up. This shift in mindset makes a huge difference in how we experience life. We become more forgiving of ourselves, and we start to see our imperfections not as flaws, but as part of what makes us unique. Letting go of perfectionism also allows us to embrace the beauty of imperfection. Life is messy, people are messy, but there's so much beauty in that. Our quirks, our flaws, and our mistakes are what make us who we are. They give us character, depth, and authenticity. When we stop trying to be perfect, we begin to appreciate the richness of our experiences, both the good and the bad. We start to see that imperfection is not something to be feared, it's something to be celebrated. Sometimes we become so focused on what we don't like about ourselves or our lives that we forget to appreciate what's already good. We focus on the areas where we think we're falling short and overlook the things we've already accomplished. Letting go of perfectionism means celebrating the progress you've made, no matter how small. It means recognizing that the effort you put in is valuable, even if the outcome doesn't meet your idealized vision. Progress is about the steps you take, not the destination. Another powerful way to release the grip of perfectionism is by shifting our expectations. High standards are important, but unrealistic expectations can set us up for failure and disappointment. The key is to find balance. Set goals that challenge you, but make sure they're achievable. Break them down into smaller, manageable steps and celebrate each step along the way. When you focus on the process instead of the outcome, you'll find that perfection becomes less important. What matters more is the growth you experience in the journey. We also need to remember that perfectionism can affect our relationships. When we hold others to unrealistically high standards, we can create tension and disappointment. Just as we expect perfection from ourselves, we may project that onto the people around us. But the truth is, no one is perfect. Relationships thrive on acceptance, understanding, and empathy. Letting go of the need for perfection allows us to connect with others on a deeper level. It opens the door for more authentic, meaningful relationships based on mutual support rather than judgment. Letting go of perfectionism is also about practicing mindfulness. Instead of focusing on what's wrong or what could be better, we learn to appreciate the present moment. When we're fully present, we stop obsessing over what we didn't do perfectly. We stop comparing ourselves to others and start focusing on the things that truly matter to us. Mindfulness helps us accept things as they are, without the need to change them to fit some idealized version of perfection. It teaches us to appreciate life as it is, in all its imperfect beauty. There's also a sense of freedom that comes with letting go of perfectionism. When we stop striving for an unattainable ideal, we free up our energy and creativity. We become more open to new ideas and experiences because we're no longer constrained by the fear of making mistakes. This freedom allows us to approach life with a sense of curiosity and joy rather than pressure and stress. We give ourselves permission to explore, to take risks, and to fail, knowing that failure isn't the end, it's part of the process of growth. As we let go of perfectionism, we begin to embrace the fact that life is about balance. It's about finding harmony between our aspirations and our reality. It's about understanding that perfection isn't the goal. Happiness, growth, and contentment are. When we stop chasing perfection, we allow ourselves to experience life fully, with all its highs and lows, its successes and failures, its messiness and beauty. And in doing so, we discover that life, in all its imperfection, is enough. Chapter 15. The Power of Daily Habits. Life can feel overwhelming at times, with so much happening all at once. It's easy to fall into a routine where we just react to the world around us, rather than actively creating the life we want. One of the most powerful ways to take control of our lives and move toward happiness is through daily habits. Small, consistent actions done over time can add up to big changes. It's not about doing something perfectly or drastically changing everything at once. It's about making intentional choices every day, that support your well-being and happiness. Building daily habits that align with your values and goals can shift the direction of your life. These habits don't need to be grand or complicated. The best ones are often simple, like taking a few minutes each morning to set an intention for the day or practicing gratitude before bed. It's the small, consistent actions that build over time, shaping who you are and how you experience life. By creating habits that nurture your physical health, emotional well-being, and mental clarity, you set the foundation for a happier, more fulfilled life. One of the first steps in developing positive habits is identifying what you want to change or improve. It's about recognizing the areas of your life that feel stagnant or that you know need some attention. For example, if you feel overwhelmed or constantly stressed, a daily habit of mindfulness or deep breathing can help bring calm into your day. If you're looking to improve your physical health, committing to some form of exercise each day, even if it's just a short walk, can make a huge difference over time. The key is starting with small actions that you can realistically commit to and then building on them as you go. Setting clear, achievable goals is another important part of building effective daily habits. When you have a specific goal in mind, it's easier to figure out what daily steps will help you get there. The goal doesn't have to be huge or life-changing. It could be something as simple as drinking more water, getting enough sleep, or reading for 10 minutes a day. The key is consistency, not perfection. When you commit to doing something every day, it becomes a part of your routine, and over time, it becomes second nature. These habits, no matter how small, add up and can lead to significant changes in your life. It's important to approach building habits with patience and understanding. Change doesn't happen overnight, and it's easy to get discouraged if things don't seem to be improving quickly enough. But the truth is, most of the time, change is gradual. It happens bit by bit, and even though you might not see instant results, each small action counts. Think about it like planting a seed. You water it every day, and eventually you start to see growth. But in the beginning, you don't see anything happening. The same goes for your habits. The more consistent you are, the more you'll start to notice the positive effects in your life. Sometimes we get caught up in the idea that we have to make huge changes to see any results, but that's not always the case. Small, sustainable changes are often the most effective in the long run. Instead of trying to overhaul your entire life at once, focus on making 1 or 2 small changes that you can maintain over time. This approach helps you avoid burnout and frustration. It also gives you the chance to build momentum as you see the positive impact of your habits. Another important thing to remember is that your habits don't need to be perfect to be effective. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that if you can't do something perfectly, then you shouldn't do it at all. But that mindset can keep you stuck. The truth is, there's no such thing as a perfect habit. Life is unpredictable, and sometimes things won't go according to plan. The important thing is to keep showing up, even if you miss a day or things don't go exactly how you imagined. Progress is about consistency, not perfection. Tracking your habits can also be a helpful tool for staying on track. Whether you use a journal, an app, or a simple checklist, keeping track of your progress helps you stay accountable and gives you a sense of accomplishment. Seeing how many days you've stuck to a habit can be motivating, and it helps you notice patterns in your behavior. If you miss a day or two, it's okay. The goal is to keep going, not to be perfect. Accountability can also play a big role in forming new habits. Having someone to share your goals with, or even to check in with, can keep you motivated and on track. This could be a friend, family member, or even a group online that shares similar interests. Knowing that someone else is rooting for you and that you're committed to a goal can make a huge difference in your ability to stick with your habits. Plus, it's always helpful to celebrate your wins together, no matter how small. Building habits isn't just about doing things that benefit your health and well-being. It's also about setting yourself up for success in all areas of life. The habits you create can have a ripple effect. For example, when you make time for exercise, you're not just improving your physical health, you're also boosting your energy, your mood, and your confidence. When you make time for self-care, you're not only taking care of yourself, but you're also setting a positive example for others. The habits you create shape the person you become, and when you build habits that support your happiness, you create a life that reflects that. Sometimes it's helpful to reevaluate your habits and see if they're still serving you. Life changes, and what worked for you in the past might not be as effective now. Don't be afraid to make adjustments or try new things. The goal is to find habits that work for you and that help you move toward the life you want. Be flexible and remember that it's okay to shift your approach when necessary. One of the most powerful things about daily habits is that they give you a sense of control. In a world that can often feel unpredictable and chaotic, habits provide stability and structure. They're something you can rely on even when other parts of your life feel uncertain. Having a routine, even a simple one, helps you feel grounded. It gives you a sense of purpose and direction, and it ensures that you're consistently taking steps toward the life you want. The beauty of daily habits is that they compound over time. The small actions you take every day may seem insignificant at first, but when you look back, you realize just how much they've added up. Whether you're building your physical health, emotional well-being, or mental clarity, the effects of your habits are cumulative. They create lasting change, one step at a time. When you make the choice to commit to daily habits that support your happiness, you're taking control of your life. You're choosing to show up for yourself every day, no matter what. And that commitment, over time, leads to profound transformation. You don't have to do everything perfectly, and you don't have to make big changes all at once. It's the small, consistent actions that lead to lasting happiness and fulfillment. Through your daily habits, you create the life you deserve, one step at a time.